Hi, my name is Allison Szyminski, and I am here today to explain the importance of you beginning to increase your cardiovascular health. First, let's start off with just explaining what your cardiovascular health is. This is referring to the health of your blood vessels and your heart. Your heart pumps the blood throughout your body and carries oxygen and nutrients to the cells in your body, and blood vessels deliver blood to the organs and tissues in your body. So both of these are extremely important to your body just functioning in everyday life. Without these, you are not able to live or do anything because they're both extremely important, and this is why it is so important for us to keep them healthy. If your heart's not healthy, you can get heart conditions. One of these heart conditions is angina. This is when you get chest pain because there's bad oxygen flow to your heart. You can get abnormal heart rhythms, which is your heart racing, thumping, or skipping a beat or multiple beats. You can get coronary heart disease. This is when plaque gets stuck in your coronary arteries. Your coronary arteries is what delivers oxygenated blood to the heart. You can get a heart attack. This is when limited oxygen is able to get to the heart. And you can also have heart failure, which is when your blood can't get pumped to the heart and it is unsuccessful. You also run the risk of having high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and cardiomyopathy. Things we want to do to try to increase our cardiovascular health are simple. One, we want to try to eat better, and two, we want to exercise more. Both of these are simple things that we can incorporate into our everyday life. So first, let's start with eating better. We want to try to incorporate more fruits and vegetables into our everyday diet. This will help with weight loss, which will decrease your chances of getting diabetes and high blood pressure. It also shows that eating more fruits and vegetables will lower our risk of developing heart diseases and circulatory diseases. Substances in these fruits and vegetables will help our heart grow stronger. Some fruits and vegetables we want to try and eat are blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, papaya, red grapes, kale, spinach, and bok choy. Most of the vegetables that are very good for our heart are those big green leafy vegetables. We want to try and also eat more whole grains. In most foods, there is a whole grain option. So when there's whole grain bread, try to grab that whole grain bread. When there's a whole grain muffin, try and grab the whole grain muffin. If there is a whole grain option, really try to grab that because it plays a huge role in our heart health by controlling our blood pressure. Some foods we want to try and stay away from and limit. We want to try and limit our fat intake, especially our saturated fat and our trans fat. Our saturated fat should only be about 6% of our daily calorie intake, and we should try and consume no trans fat. We want to have only 6% of our calorie intake be saturated and 0% be our trans fat. Too many fats will build up cholesterol, and that will build up in our arteries and lead to many heart problems. Other foods to avoid are red and processed meats. This is things like burgers, steaks, sausages. This is because it will increase our risk of cancers and heart diseases. We want to try to eliminate fat intake, especially trans fats and saturated fats. This is because it will increase our chances of a heart attack or a stroke. We want to also try to eliminate most salts. Adding extra salt to any food is extremely bad for you because this will increase our risk of high blood pressure and developing coronary heart disease. It's also proven that in the United States, we add salt to almost everything. And if you look in your fridge and grab most things in there, it's going to have a lot of sodium, which is all salt. And this is extremely bad for our heart. Other foods we want to try and stay away from are high-fat dairy products, fatty meats, processed meats, oils, trans fats and saturated fats, as we talked about before, processed foods, Any drink with added sugar or food with added sugar, those high sodium, again, that's the salt, which is extremely bad for our heart. We want to try and get rid of that. And alcohol. Excessive alcohol is what leads to high blood pressure, heart failure, and sometimes strokes. And it can also cause weight gain, which is going to lead to diabetes and high blood pressure. Alcohol isn't bad in moderation, but you need to remember the in moderation part. When you excessively start to drink alcohol, you're going to start gaining weight and really increasing your chances of heart diseases and heart problems. In order to try and not get these heart diseases and heart problems, another thing we can do is exercise more. This is because it's going to strengthen the heart. We want to try and get moderate to high intensity exercises. This is about 30 to 60 minutes a day, whether it's running, jogging, sprinting, swimming, biking. It can be simple things like playing in the backyard with a football, having a catch, anything that's getting your body moving, weightlifting. All of this is going to strengthen your heart muscles. This is going to improve your heart's ability to pump blood and get the oxygen to the lungs and the body. It's also going to lower the risk of getting coronary heart disease. Coronary heart disease is a disease in your coronary arteries. This is when plaque builds up in your coronary arteries, and your coronary artery is what gives your heart oxygenated blood to then go through the heart and distribute those nutrients and oxygen to the rest of the body. So when these coronary arteries get clogged up, you're going to have these coronary heart diseases and other heart issues. If the plaque ruptures, this can cause blood clots, and blood clots are then going to cause heart attacks because of the lack of oxygen flow into the heart. It's also exercise is also going to make the heart pump more oxygen to get it out to the rest of the body. So if you're having blood clots and this oxygen isn't able to get out, you're going to have a lot of heart issues. All in all, we really just want to try and eat healthier so your body can get the nutrients from the fruits and the vegetables and other good foods like whole grains. We want to try and fill our bodies with good foods and not bad foods with a lot of saturated fats, things like butter that's not good for us, the bad oils that aren't good for us. We also want to try and exercise more to get our heart stronger so the heart is able to pump more oxygen to the rest of the body. And finally, we just want to keep our hearts healthy in order to live safer, happier lives. When our heart is healthy, you're going to feel better. If you're having chest pain, you probably have an unhealthy heart. There are ways to deal with this, but the most effective and natural way is changing your eating habits and changing your exercise habits. It is really good to try and exercise every day and eat better, not only for your heart, but just to feel better in general, because exercising helps you mentally, eating better helps you physically, and when it all comes together, you're just going to feel better as a person. So together, we should all really try and increase our cardiovascular health.